I call the meeting of August the 10th, 2015 to order, 7:02. Basically, we have the flag salute first, and Chuck Maskell is leading the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board in the entrance hall of the Beach Haven Municipal Building and mailing the same to the Beach Haven Times, the Asbury Park Press, and the Press of Atlantic City. Mr. Caxton.
Here.
Mr. Keeler. Mr. Maskell.
Here.
Mr. White.
Here.
Mayor Davis.
Here. Okay, our first order is a presentation which will be conducted by Councilman White.
Okay, I'd like to ask all the people from the Beach Patrol, the Beach Haven Police Department, the First Aid Squad, and all those that were representative for a very big life-saving effort on the beach last week. If you would all stand up, please, and come forward.
Come on up, line up here so everyone can see you. There you go.
Okay, before you're looking at some of the people that make this community one of the finest there is. As first responders, you witness tragedy and heartbreak almost on a daily basis sometimes. And some days you even ask why things happen. As first responders, you can always change the course of an event by your actions. You always help to make it a little better. You can all take comfort in knowing you are doing the best you can to serve our community. You must always rely on your training, experience, and equipment, which you showed so excellently on last week, August the 4th. All of those things put together make you a second-to-none department of police officers and first responders and lifeguards. Your dedication to our community must always be recognized. We must make sure that the job you do never goes unnoticed. The victim and his family, the man whose life you saved last week, must be overjoyed by your professionalism. The Borough of Beach Haven wanted to make a public statement to you this evening. That's why we asked you to be here. While we thank you tonight, we would like it to be known that we are thankful every day you are standing out there protecting the lives of our community. On behalf of the Borough Administration, the Beach Haven Council, I extend to you a heartfelt thank you. Keep up the good work, and I want you all to know that this is not something that is taken lightly. The entire council has sung the praises. This was one incident, but what I want to try to emphasize is that what they do on a daily basis goes unnoticed, and it should never go unnoticed. So when any chance that you get to thank the people that are standing before you, their cohorts, police officers, firefighters, etc. Mike Lawrence is here. He's the Beach Haven Patrol Chief and has done an outstanding job of putting together a cadre of people that are really second to none. I am so proud of them, and just watch the professionalism and the care that they have put into us. Steve McNamara, Senior Lifeguard Megan Marrow, Lifeguard Craig Adrian, Lifeguard Nina Bocchini, I think I said it right, Sergeant McCaffrey, and Patrolman Joe Bowler are being recognized tonight as, due to a very special incident that happened on our beach last week. I'd like to also extend, Mike, and to Chief Kohler and all the other department heads how very proud we are of all of you for your day in and day out work for us. Thank you all very much.
Cash receipts incurred to fund as of the period July 1st and July 31st total $512,631. The cash balance in the current fund as of the same period was $7,506,739.88. And the cash balance of water utility account as of July 31st, 2015 was $1,565,643.73, submitted by our treasurer, Shelley Marshall. Moving on to department reports, accounting, motion recently struck the tax rates for all the municipalities within Ocean County. Tax rate for Beach Haven for...
Can't hear you.
Sorry.
Okay.
The tax rate for Beach Haven for 2015, total tax rate, will be $1.26.9. This represents an increase of 6.9 cents overall for 2014. The increases come as follows. Ocean County rate increased by 1.3 cents or $268,007.73. The regional school tax increased by 2.9 cents or $518,215. Our municipal tax rate here increased by 2.6 cents or $484,322. Which means the total amount this year to be raised by taxation to support municipal, county, and schools is $21,210,097.73, an increase of approximately $1,306,771.09. Due to the fact that again this year the tax rate was struck a little late, the deadline will be extended by resolution later this evening by council until September 10th. Moving on to beach badge sales, as we all know, it's been a very nice summer. Particularly the weekends have been very conducive to beach going. So far, we have already surpassed where we were at this time last year, 2014. Total sales to date, $448,693. An increase again, like I said, over this period last year of $12,643. Again, we hope this continues for the following three plus weeks of this season. We had a number of our staff attended a beach replenishment meeting. It would appear that we originally anticipated the beach replenishment to begin here in Beach Haven shortly after Labor Day, mid-September. That would not be happening. The barge that was coming here has been redeployed elsewhere. We expect it to return, but the return date, I believe, Chuck, is sometime in November. We attended that meeting, possibly as late as early December, so we will be waiting a bit for the program to come to us. And then finally, we welcomed a new staff member to us today. Her name is Laura Campiglione. She is our new court administrator. Lauren joins us. She had previously worked in Manchester Township, and she has over 4 years' experience in the municipal court system, so we welcome to our family here in Beach Haven. That's what I have to say.
Thank you, Rich. And now we have the approval of the minutes without formal reading. We have an agenda meeting of July 8th, 2015, an agenda meeting of July 27th, 2015. Has everybody read the minutes?
Yes.
Motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Great.
Ordinance 2015-23, bond ordinance authorizing various water system improvements by the water utility in and for the borough of Beach Haven in the county of Ocean, state of New Jersey, appropriating $310,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of 310,000 bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof. Final reading.
This is the final reading, so at this time, if anybody wants to come up and comment on this ordinance, they may. If you do, state your name and address. Is there anybody that wants to comment on this ordinance? In that case, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve 2015-24.
A second.
Second.
Mr. Taxis?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
2015-24, bond ordinance authorizing various capital improvements and acquisitions in and for the Borough of Beach Haven in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appropriating $700,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $523,500 bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof. Final reading.
Again, since this is the final reading, are there any public comments relating to ordinance 2015-24? If there are none, do I have a motion to approve this ordinance?
Motion to approve 2015-24.
Second?
Second?
Mr. Kaxis?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2015-25 is the 2015 salary ordinance, first reading.
Do I have a motion to approve this?
Motion to approve 2015-25.
Is there a second?
Second?
Mr. Kaxis?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2015-22C, an ordinance amending an ordinance entitled Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, as the same in section 127 deals with mercantile licenses, first reading.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Kaxis?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes. The next we have resolutions within the consent agenda.
All matters, sorry,
Yeah.
all matters listed under item consent agenda are considered to be routine by the municipal council and will be enacted in one motion, by one motion in the form listed. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds, and any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda and discussed separately. All consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes. Resolution 160, approving an application for a social affairs permit. Resolution 161, returning piling bonds. Resolution 164, returning park bonds. Resolution 165, returning an occupation of street bond. Resolution 166, authorizing the refund of curb and sidewalk fees. Resolution 168, approving ABC caterers permits. Resolution 171, extending the due date of third quarter 2015 taxes. Resolution 172, canceling water charges. Resolution 173, authorizing the return of tax sales certificate premium. Resolution 174, approving an application for a social affairs permit. And finally, 175, authorizing the submission of a raffle application.
Would anybody like to remove any of these from the consent agenda?
No.
Great. So do we have a motion to approve these resolutions?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Mr. Kaxis?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
I have a bill list this evening in the amount of $2,133,594.64.
Has everybody reviewed the bills?
I've had a chance to review all the bills, and I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Kaxis?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes. Okay, at this time, we have public comment. I guess I've been rushing through the agenda because I already went through it so thoroughly, waiting for this moment. If anybody wants to comment on anything, would you please come to the microphone, state your name and address, and we're limiting the comments to 3 minutes approximately. So please come to the microphone.
My name is Ingrid Souza.
Can you speak a little louder? You can tilt it up, you know, like that, a little bit. There you go.
My name is Amy Souza, and I live at 416 Amber Street.
Can't hear you.
You have to sort of talk right into it.
Is that on?
Is it on now?
No. Jim, can you check? It should be on.
Can you up the volume there at all?
There you go.
It's on.
I have a question.
You have to talk right into it.
I just have a question. When I ride my bike, am I supposed to go in the bike lane facing the traffic?
No.
Or
with
with
the
the
traffic.
traffic, with the
You
traffic.
walk against the traffic, and when you ride a bike, you go with the
With the
traffic.
traffic. But I want to have a complaint because when I ride my bike, I'm going with the traffic. Because I asked the policeman, he said you're supposed to go with the traffic. And there's people coming, facing me. So I have to stop. And if there's a car coming on my right, I stop. And the people coming this way get mad at me because I stop. But I don't want to get hit, and I don't want to hit them, so I stop. So I just wanted to ask if the police could,
Yes. Look, Brenda, your concern up, it's on the electronic sign on the thing, it's people coming, they're not familiar with our rules, but I will talk to the chief tomorrow, so
okay,
see if we
thanks.
can get a little bit more.
I think there's arrows too on the bike lanes to show
Yeah,
the
and there's
direction.
signs that say that,
Yes.
but,
Well, it's a real crowded, it's very crowded this time of year, so
Oh.
it is difficult, there's no
oh
question.
yeah, I know that, but I've gotten in arguments with people, they're saying you're going the wrong way, and I said, no, I'm not. I had a fight with a little boy because he said I was going the wrong way, and I said, I'm going this way, or if I stop, I hold them up and they get mad, but I don't want to get killed by going in front of the car, so,
Of course not, so,
Thank
well,
you.
hopefully we can resolve that.
okay, thanks.
So, my name is John Weber.
There you go.
How's that? Is that all right? Can you hear me? I'll just
Yeah.
talk loud. I work for the Surfrider Foundation. We're a coastal environmental group. I live in Monmouth County, in Bradley Beach. If you need the address, let me know. My folks have a place here since the 70s here in Beach Haven. And I do want to talk to you about beach replenishment. I know you've heard a little bit at your agenda meeting, but I want to say that my organization, the Surfrider Foundation, we have a lot of experience with beach replenishment. Been working on this for a long time. The town hasn't actually gotten their Army Corps beach replenishment yet, so it's essentially the town's first experience with beach replenishment. We were really involved back in like 2005. I actually sent a letter to every single mayor in the town. It was Mayor Stewart at the time. I'm sure Mr. Crean remembers my name and face. And we didn't say we're against the beach replenishment by any stretch of the imagination. We simply said, these are the questions you need to ask to get a better project on your beach. And that pretty much every situation that I laid out in that letter came true, including bombs on the beach and the whole thing washing away and various other situations. So if you want, I could show you that letter from 10 years ago and resend it to you. But the essence is that, we want the town to think of themselves as the customer. The town's the customer, with the Army Corps and the DEP kind of providing that. And I know George Thomas has talked to you about different slopes, putting different slopes on the beach face, which could end up being safer. We actually agree with that. My understanding is that the Army Corps is looking at 2 different beach slopes for 2 different sections in town. Is that what you've heard as well?
That's correct.
Okay, that's excellent. I would also say that if you're doing that for the reasons of safety, which I think you should be, and I hope that's why you are doing it, it would make sense to have the Center Street Beach have that gentler, less steep profile as well. It's the most populated beach, the hotels and all the density there. So you may want to ask for that from the DEP and the Army Corps and see if that's possible. By real coincidence, I have this article that just came out. It's from Delaware Beach Life magazine. It just came out last week. And it's all about beach replenishment and the steep and dangerous shore break that it creates. They didn't talk to my organization for this. They've referenced us in there, but it's not like I had anything to do with it. So one other thing I know you've heard about is the sand quality, and I also want to just support the idea of, if it is at all possible, asking the Army Corps or the contractor to move Beach Haven's nice sand aside and let them do their thing and fill the beach, and then put the nice sand on top. It's called backpassing. I think you can and you should ask the DEP for that. If you want to use the terminology the DEP is going to listen to, it's called a betterment, meaning the state is paying to make something different or better other than what the Army Corps designed, as long as it doesn't, decrease the safety and protection. The state has done this in other instances, and I can give you examples where they'll pay for it. It shouldn't cost you anything. It's obviously more expensive to move all the sand out of the way and then put it back. So we're supporting that. And I personally want to invite every single one of you to come to my town, to come to Bradley Beach, New Jersey, and see what kind of sand they are putting on our beaches there. You might be going up the island and taking a look at what's going on up there. It's clearly not the same, but I still invite you to come to see what it actually can be like, and on the bad side. My point is, if they hit a bad patch of sand and it's full of gravel and it's kind of gross, and they don't stop these projects for that. So anything that you can do on your end to make sure that that sand isn't the Beach Haven sand is a really good thing. It's going to be really welcome. So yeah, so just asking for that betterment from DEP. I heard you say that there's going to be a meeting on September 1st. I'd love to come to that if possible. And I would love it if the borough used my organization as a resource. We have dozens and dozens of experience with beach replenishment and only trying to make the beach better.
We really appreciate your comments. We are having a meeting, so everybody knows this. It will be publicized on the 1st of September. We will have representatives from the DEP and the Army Corps here. We hope that a lot of people come. We wanted to have this meeting before Labor Day. Basically, we sort of divided. Chuck's been attending all the meetings with the Army Corps and the DEP. We're all still keeping on top of this. We feel fortunate that they're starting Beach Haven sort of late in the game so that we can inspect the other beaches and hopefully keep on top of this. I also, I don't know if you know this, but I was a professor at Stockton for 41 years. I know Stu Farrell very well, and I had a long talk with him the other day. Of course, he's very much in favor of this. We did talk about the sand situation and some of those issues. So, we really appreciate everybody that is concerned about this because we want the best beaches.
Next one question. The thing on the first, is that a standalone meeting like you're just talking about beach replenishment?
Yes.
That is, can I say, I think you're the only town that's done that, and that is terrific. And that's kind of what we've asked for from every town from the beginning, so I really appreciate that.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Would anybody else like to come up and speak?
Speak from here.
Would you really
have
need
to
to
go
come
up
to the
there.
microphone, that's part of the, sorry, we make you get the exercise to come in. We really need it, it goes, it's recorded.
I just heard that we are not going to have jetties anymore. Is that true?
The sand will cover the jetties will be there, but they'll be under the
But
sand.
won't that be dangerous if we have surfers? They don't know that the jetty's under the sand and they can go right into them and not even know?
Well, that's a good question to ask the beach replenishment people. But basically, the thought, from my discussions with the Army Corps, is that over time these jetties will be re-exposed. Chuck might know be able to answer that better than I. But this is something that you might want to bring up if you come on September 1st. They should be fairly deep under sand.
If you're going to do something like this, then it seems to me that the beach itself is going to be very, very large.
It is.
So-
It is very large. The idea of the Long Beach, that you're going to have to walk a lot farther to get to the ocean. But the idea is that the longer the beach is, it actually decreases the energy, the wave energy, so the waves are less likely to damage the property on the other side of this big dune. From what I understand, and I'm sure there's people in the audience that know more about it than I do, but the Long Beach actually does more to protect the island than the actual dune
All right, so
itself.
will there be any steep inclines going down to get on the beach like we had years ago? Or do we used to have
It's gonna
pretty
be-
much?
Chuck, go ahead.
No, there's going to be gradual walkways down.
But not those real deep ones that we had?
Not steep, they'll be long.
Have you been down to any of the beach
Yes,
replenishment
I
sites at
have.
Grant
Some of
Beach?
them are pretty steep. but
Some of
I
them
won't-
need to be
And I won't,
reworked.
right, and I didn't think they were the greatest, to tell you the truth.
Well, couple quick comments on that. Long Beach Township is a work in progress. I've been down to Grand Beach.
And one of the things I want to say is it's hard enough for old people to get on the beach, get on the sand, and go down and enjoy the ocean. And I think you're cutting out a lot of older people.
Well, there are 3 handicap beaches. He mentioned Center Street. Center Street will be a handicap beach.
Okay.
Fifth Street will be a handicap beach. Pearl Street will be a handicap beach. At those beaches, there will be handicap ramps that will provide access to those beaches for people that have trouble walking. There'll be handicap ramps on those 3 beaches. Okay.
All right, that's what I
On Center, which was mentioned earlier, Pearl and Fifth Street, there'll be handicap ramps that go down to the beach, and there'll also be mats that will enable you to get down to the beach too. So those 3 streets have been identified as handicapped or difficult beaches to get down to, so that those provisions are being provided as
part of the replenishment. But again, you could ask the Corps of Army Engineers when they're here, but they are making some provision for people that have difficulty in walking.
They're also, they're planning on a slope of 1 vertical foot for every 10-foot horizontal, and there will be railings that you can hold on to help you get down onto the beach. There have been some problems in the projects they've done before in this respect, and they are fixing those. It is a concern, but you do have to remember the whole reason for this is the protection of the property.
Yes, I understand that, but I also think that there might be some danger to covering over the rocks.
That's a good point. So we'll have to bring that up with the Army Corps and the DEP.
I've been here since 1961, and I've gone through many different changes, as you will know, from way back then. And the beaches are, I think, pretty nice now.
I agree. I mean, right now,
beautiful.
I like them just the way they are,
Right, that's what
personally.
I'm saying. So I don't know about when they change it, because it does leave old people out, and I don't think that's fair.
We don't want to do that. So we'll hopefully, we will have great beaches in Beach Haven. We're really going to stay on top of it. I'll be here looking and watching everything they do. So will the rest of us.
I will too.
Okay, thank you very much. Please come to the microphone. State your name and address.
My name, can you hear me?
Yeah.
My name is Charles B. Barkley Jr. Sorry, I had to do it. I live on 125 Fairview Avenue in Beach Haven. And I went up to 26th Street today to see what it looked like. And I was really quite shocked. And I think anybody that hasn't seen what you're in for should definitely go to at least 26th Street. They're working on it, maybe further south they're still working, so you can't really see anything but the equipment working. But I thought it was just too much. I think that we don't need that much sand piled on our beach. And I am old enough to remember the Berkeley Street pier, and I walked out on that when I was probably 5 years old, and before the hurricane took it away, took the boardwalk away, and the beach hasn't changed a whole lot since, because the one piling is still there. So I'd like to say that since 1944, even through the 44 hurricane, the beach hasn't changed a whole lot. So I don't see why we have to have additional sand dumped on the beach, especially what you're getting, which is very poor quality sand. It looks like something that maybe should be maybe not what you would want to walk on, not what you would want to lie on. It's just very rough, coarse, heavy, not fine sand at all, and it's not white. It's yellowish gray. So I just think it seems like the council members should go look. What you're saying, Nancy, we're going to have very nice beaches, but they're not going to be nice at all. They're going to be very bad, and I think you should make people aware of that.
Could I say something?
Well, one more thing I wanted to say was the older people need more than 3 streets to get down to the beach, because there's no parking. You can't park anywhere as it is. So I think we need more handicapped access, especially, for example, where we live. We don't want to go to Pearl Street to get on the beach. We'd like to go to Fairview. So.
Charlie, from what I understand, and I had a long conversation with Stu Farrell last Wednesday, and he claims that it'll take a year or 2 for the beaches to really redefine themselves, that they increased the load of sand on the beach at the beginning of the project because they expect to lose a huge amount of that sand. Now, I'm not an expert on this. I'm sure there's people in the audience that have studied this more than I have, but he is a very knowledgeable man about this. He's the one who started the Coastal Research Center at Stockton. Also, he was telling me, I was concerned about the sand too, that basically that he was saying that they should take the better sand, the sand we're used to that we like, and use that to replenish the project. But again, we need to discuss this more. I think if you look at some of the projects that have been done a couple years ago, they don't look quite as bad as they did initially. But again, I know that we have concerns here. And everybody on council, we have gone and looked at these beaches. We are keeping
Aren't you
on
shocked?
top of it.
It's shocking.
What?
It's shocking.
Not down in Surf City.
Look at some,
Yeah,
look, yeah.
Go look at some of the places that have had replenishment for years.
It does improve. He claims that they have to dump extra sand at the beginning because he said about a third of that sand you're gonna lose,
Well,
at least.
one thing you should know, it's just going down to the inlet and filling up the inlet. So then you won't have any tidal flow into the bay, and then pretty soon, as is happening now, the clams die.
They're gonna end up taking sand out of the inlets and
Right.
putting it back on our beaches, Charlie, but not in this cycle. So they know it's there.
Is there another cycle?
Yes, there will be other cycles. And I know you're an engineer, and it is a concern. The thought of doing this to our beautiful beaches as they are now is really somewhat heartbreaking. Although, if you look at places like Bay Head and Maniloking and what happened there, there were people that were so against this, and the property loss was much greater there than it is here. So it's difficult. It's a catch-22 type of situation.
Well, maybe you could increase the dunes, but I would leave the beach more like it is, and not maybe raise the dunes, but then more people can't get over the dunes, so.
Well, the problem is that they say that the most reduction of damage is from the enlarged beaches, but they will shrink.
Well, I know about all that.
Okay, well, anyway,
But I
thank
know
you very
they'll-
much.
I know they'll shrink, but I hope it shrinks soon.
Yeah, well, we're still alive.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Thank you.
Could anybody else please come to the microphone?
Mind if I put this up in the middle, right here?
It's fine. Lovely.
There you go. Hi, I'm John Hammer, 100 Ocean Street, Beach Haven. I'm fourth generation coming down here. My kids are fifth generation. I'm a surfer and body surfer and love the beach. My children are as well. And I really appreciate you guys looking into this and trying to protect our beaches and actually having this meeting on September 1st. As you can see, the sand quality is very special in Beach Haven, and if there is a way, as John suggested, to backfill and dig out the good sand, put the bad sand in, and then cover over it would be fantastic. And also any slopes that you can do to help the surf will help the residents and increase tourism. But thank you guys very much for looking after this.
Well, thank you, and thank you for your comments.
Yep, no worries. I'll put this over here if anyone hasn't seen this.
Leave it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody else would like to speak, please come up to the microphone.
My name's Ron Hospital. I have a property at 303 Fairview Avenue. And it seems to me that even if you're going to put bad sand under the good sand, and you're going to lose a third of that, what you're going to be doing is putting the good stuff, and it's all going to wash away. This isn't Holland. This is Long Beach Island. And rather than try to change what's been here for, you know, I've gone through the storm of '62. My parents' house flooded on Center Street. I think most of the damage comes from the flooding that comes from the bay. That's why I'm saying Holland. I'm just getting this image where it's the bay that flooded us. It wasn't some of the wave action. You're looking at wave action, but look at where most of the destruction was. It was from flooding. Have a sign on the causeway to say, it floods here. Beware when you buy property here. You might want to raise your house instead of trying to change what's just been here ever since I was a child. There's sand like this that's nowhere in the world. Like, we have this, we should say, come to Beach Haven to see what no other place on the world has. Like, let's not do anything to our sand. Just leave it there and let it be ours. This is what's made us Beach Haven, is the sand that's here, the quality. Even if you put the bad sand underneath, the waves are just going to wash the good sand away, and then we're just going to be left with what's underneath, with what we have now. It's always going to just return to that level. As my kind of, I'm not an engineer, and I'm not a, I just, you know, I've been here for a long time, but I don't want to see this beach go. I've been all over the world, well, I don't want to say I'm so well traveled, but go look at sand anywhere else, and you have nowhere that you have this quartz, beautiful white sand here, and this is us, and you're going to just ruin it, I think. But-
Well, thank you very much, and I hope some of you come on the 1st of September, because then the people that are actually doing the project will be able to hear some of your comments. In addition to that, you have to remember also that we really do have to keep on top of it, because the guys planning the project are different from the guys doing the project. So the guys doing the project, they're just doing it. They don't know really, they're just, you know, and they make mistakes. So it's very important that we all keep an eye on this, all of us in town that care about our town and the beaches. And I appreciate your comment, all of your comments. Anybody else? Yes.
My name is Ed Seitz, 4th Street, Beach Haven. All you have to do is look at our beach and realize how much of the replenishment sand from up north is coming down to our beaches. They've never been as big as they are now. So what the other gentleman was saying about we losing the good sand if we put it on top, we might as well leave the good sand on the bottom, because all the top is going to wash away.
There you go. Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
We don't need this.
Anybody else would like to come forward?
Hi, my name is Jeannie Fine. I'm a member of Sea Shepherd Conservation Society, and I kind of want to take this in a different direction. Everything that's been brought up, I also feel, because I work for Long Beach Township on the beach. Right in Spray South, where they're doing beach replenishment right now, so I see it every day when I go to work. But those concerns have been brought up. What hasn't really been brought up, as far as I'm concerned, and unfortunately I will be on campaign with Sea Shepherd September 1st, so I won't be able to make the meeting. The effects of the environment, the cloudy water issues, water quality issues on fish, birds, turtles especially. There's so little data about that kind of stuff out there right now. I would love to see some more studies done before all of this. It's a little after the fact because it's been going on for some time, but it's never too late to try to do that. I also have a concern as to where they're mining the sand from. I have not heard very little about that. They're mining a large area and disturbing a lot of habitat for a lot of different marine mammals, fish, and I'd like to see more thought given to how we can make that a better situation, because some of that habitat that is lost will not be regained by these mammals.
I agree. And the more studies, the better.
And there's so little out there, unfortunately.
It's true. Thank you so much for your comments.
Yes.
And maybe you can send a representative on September
And
1st.
I'm going to try to do that. I will actually be in Florida with turtle hatchlings.
Oh,
So,
that's great. Thank you very much. Anybody else? Any more public comments? If there's no more public comments, I am closing the floor for public comments. And so we are now to the point where we have final comments by council. I'll start with Mr. Councilman Practice.
Yeah, I appreciate all the concerns, and I know I talked to George the other day. George and I reviewed the design documents for the beach replenishment, and I'll show you his concerns. I mean, we are doing some research, and he sent some information on Rehoboth Beach. I've been trying to reach people on Rehoboth Beach to get their feedback, because they did a beach replenishment project in 2005 that he mentioned in his documents. So we will do more research on our part. It seems like the biggest thing he was really promoting more than anything else was the overall effect, and that's 30-to-1. Right now we're 10-to-1. So we'll continue to look at it, and hopefully we'll get some resolution, and maybe make some changes in the meeting on the 1st.
And we we do have time, so that, thank you very much. Councilman Maskell?
I just wanted to give another shout out to our first responders, lifeguards, police, and firefighters, EMS, for a job well done.
Thank you. Councilman White? Thank you. And the only thing I want to comment on is I thank you all for coming. The concern of the citizens in this town is very important, and I hope that we can live up to your expectations and that we can make sure that this project goes well. I have similar reservations, and I'm also a fourth-generation person here. I also want to mention that we are building a new municipal building, and we are going to have a special meeting relating to that building on August 26th at 7 o'clock here, so that anybody that's interested in the plans and what we're doing can come and speak and ask us questions.
Where is it going to be?
Pardon?
Where is it going to be?
It's going to be where the old municipal building is at 300 Ingleside. We are planning on starting the demolition on right after Labor Day, and we've been working hard, particularly Mr. Cactus is an engineer, and he's been extremely helpful in this project. So I hope we will see you on the 26th of August. And thank you very much for coming. It's very nice to see a full house.
That's at 300 Ingleside?
300 Ingleside, where the old municipal building is.
Yeah.
At what time?
The meeting will be at
Meeting is
7.
here.
The meeting's here.
The meeting's here.
Meeting's
The
here.
demolition is there.
I got it.
Got it?
I got it.
All right. Okay.
When will we get
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
John, you can go down there and for the meeting at 300 Ingersoll.